Hello everyone. I hope your game design has been going pretty well. Today we'll wrap up all of the little pieces that are required for you to complete the Keep on the Shadowfell campaign. The last two elements we're going to discuss are traps and skill challenges. As you can see from my view, I've finished plotting out the second interlude and have also completed level 1 of Shadowfell Keep. If you haven't finished with those encounters, you may want to pause and do that first, as we'll be editing some of those plot points. You can also see from the right hand sidebar that the experience tally is getting quite high. So high that if the players hit all the encounters, then they'll be at least level 3. We're going to go ahead and open up the subplot of Shadowfell Keep level 1. Currently we are in flowchart view, and I've done my best to arrange encounters in the order in which they're going to happen. You have to enter through Area 1, but then you can break off into any of the 4 other surrounding areas. Since this is somewhat a freeform crawl, flowchart view may not be the best way to observe it. If you would like a more dungeon-like view, use the sidebar and select Switch to Map View. This way we can see the entire map and not have to worry so much about the flow. If you've been filling in the encounters on level 1 of the keep, you maybe have noticed some experience discrepancies in Area 10. This is because it includes 3 level 1 traps, but does not actually stat them out. We're going to fix that right now. Select Tools, then Libraries. Choose your Keep on the Shadowfell library, or Custom library in my case, and then switch to the Traps and Hazards tab. The Add button will open up the new trap dialog. We'll be doing this by hand based on the information on page 47 in the PDF. We don't have a whole lot of information to go on, so just do the best you can. Pause the video now, and unpause it when you're finished. All done? Okay, let's compare notes. This is what I came up with for the camouflaged pit trap. I used the Skills part of the trap designer to add in the perception check. The attack is written as an automatic hit, but you of course can play around with that. If you looked at several of the tabs in the trap builder, there was one labeled Advice. This would suggest that you make it a +4 versus reflex based on the level of the trap. This is a really handy tab to use for quick adjustments and on-the-fly design. I put the Athletics check in the countermeasures area, but they could have been added to the skills as well. Hit OK and then click on View Stat Block. If yours does not match mine, that's totally fine because I was winging it too. Just make sure that you're happy with your trap, and that the notes you included will help you run the combat encounter. Now that it's in our library, let's add it to the encounter. Close out of all the library windows, and with Area 10 selected, click the Encounter link. Change the drop-down box on the right to Traps and Hazards. Then add your new trap. Make sure to increase the count to 3. Our experience should now match the expected value in the PDF file. You should know how to place the traps on the map from an earlier tutorial, so you can do that at your leisure. The last segment we are covering today is the skill challenge in Area 8. If we switch back to flowchart view, we can see how I've plotted this out. Area 7 has 2 plot points stemming from it. I did this to show that it will be a combat counter or skill challenge depending, but does not have to be both. Again, linking them depends more on what makes sense to you. Going back to map view, we can see I've actually set up 2 different locations. This is because Masterplan doesn't do a great job on map view for multiple plots at the same location. Click on the location you want to add the skill challenge to, then click the Skill Challenge link from the right menu. The Skill Challenge builder opens up, and we can start selecting some of our options. The Overview tab allows us to set the complexity and level of skill challenge. I'm not sure why, but sometimes I've seen the level portion of it grayed out before and it just takes on the current experience level of the party. Go figure. The Skills tab is where we choose exactly what our players can do to succeed, or fail miserably, at this challenge. This can be broken up by skills, abilities, and even a custom setting at the very bottom. To give you an example of when a custom setting might be useful, my own Twin Cities campaign included a skill challenge that had a necrotic artifact that the PCs needed to destroy. So I added a custom skill to represent attacking the object with radiant damage. Double-clicking a skill will open up an edit box to further refine how this skill works. You can set if it's a primary, secondary, or automatic failure skill. Choose how difficult you want the check to be, and increase or decrease the DC regarding this particular check. The Success and Failure tab are used to keep notes regarding what the outcome is. For example, a successful history check might earn a +2 bonus to all further diplomacy checks, or a failure on a specific check might count as 2 failures. Victory and defeat show the outcomes of a successful or unsuccessful skill challenge, and the Notes tab is for all the additional data that didn't fit into the other categories. Time to pause the video again and fill in your skill challenge. I'll meet back up with you after I ate some delicious pineapple, and you can check your work against mine. Alright then, hopefully that didn't take you too long. First thing is first, we'll look at the quick bar on the right hand side. You can see how it lays out the skill challenge to be viewed without even needing to open up the plot point. Masterplan uses the default experience algorithms when adding in the experience, so don't worry about your XP value for now. Underneath the top information, we see each of the checks listed in bold, followed immediately by the DC values for each check. The description goes right underneath that, so I like to put the modification information first. If you look down at the religion check, you can see I've modified the order to list the potential +2 bonus first. The hyperlinks with success and failure are not used during design, but when you're actually running your campaign using Masterplan. You can click on them if you want, and you can reset them using the builder in a second. Panning back over to the builder, we can see how I got the DCs to list as they are. It took some working to get the math just right, but when you design your own encounter from scratch, you won't have to worry about all the Wizards of the Coast typos and self-rule breaking that they do. If you did click on any success or failure links, you'll see the results on the Overview tab. You'll probably want to hit the Reset button before you save your project for the day. Closing out of that window, I'm back to the Plot Point editor. If you don't see this, click on the Edit Plot Point button right above your quick menu on the right. We're back here because I wanted to show you the additional XP area. Because overcoming an encounter rewards the party with the same experience regardless of whether a battle was fought, we need to give the party all 875 experience they are due for defeating that encounter. I've typed in a bonus of 625, which will add to the 250 experience we saw earlier. With those two bits of the puzzle in place, you now have all the information and skill you need to finish the entirety of Keep on the Shadowfell. This tutorial is going to wrap up my beginner series of Masterplan, and I hope it's been very helpful for you. The plan is to do an advanced series, which will cover quite a bit more concepts, such as dungeon tiles, encounters, things like that. But I'll be needing some more feedback on what people are yearning to know. So spread the word, and enjoy designing with Masterplan. Thank you all.